Tonight's headlines are brought to you by McDonald's and Mariana's Coffee.
Tonight on the Channel 2 News, Imperial Pacific is doubling down in a last-ditch effort to keep their casino license. Also tonight, a weekend prisoner serving time for theft is caught smuggling in ice from outside the pen. And we have the 411 from the 670 on the 902 talks. In sports, playing professional sports can be a tough road in these Pacific Islands. We take a look at a Tahitian who is making a run in professional tennis. Stay with us. These stories and more are next.
Find a plan that goes with your flow. Get unlimited local talk, text, and data at the most affordable rate with Unlimited Flow Postpaid.
I love Mariana's Coffee. Come join me for a cup. I think you would be really happy.
Our new McDonald's Spicy Chicken McNuggets are just the right amount of spicy. A small to medium Sprite kind of spicy. Let's get a McFlurry after this kind of spicy. But if you get the mighty hot sauce, it's a napkins up for foreheads now kind of spicy. This came from McDonald's kind of spicy? Because our Spicy Chicken McNuggets, breaded in tempura and made with cayenne, are just the right amount of spicy. Unless you remember what I said about the sauce. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Imperial Pacific International has filed a second emergency temporary restraining order against the Commonwealth Casino Commission and CNMI Governor Arnold Palacios. IPI, through its counsels Michael Chen and Stephen Nutting, is requesting the court to restrain the CCC from deliberating and voting on the revocation of its exclusive casino license, which has been scheduled for Tuesday, April 2nd. They claim their due process rights are violated because 4 of 5 commissioners acted as the hearing officers during the revocation hearing. They say the commissioners have a material, direct, personal, and pecuniary interest in the outcome of the proceedings. They add that because the commissioners had prior knowledge and involvement with the underlying claims, it renders the hearing as a mistrial. IPI points out that the commissioners also lack institutional capacity and resources to formally judge defenses raised, and they can't function as impartial decision makers because of personal, professional, and political interests at stake. IPI provided pictures taken by media that display irregularities at the hearing, which is a conversation between Acting Executive Director Andrew Yom and one of the hearing officers. IPI says this picture shows a hearing commissioner browsing his phone extensively during the proceeding. IPI states the court should grant the TRO because it is in the public interest. The $300 million investment aimed at revitalizing the gaming industry will be jeopardized, and the economy of the CNMI will suffer harm. Bruce Berline, Aaron Haligua, and John Brendan Lade are representing the governor. Allison Nelson is representing Yom, and Carl de la Cruz is representing the commissioners. As of press time, there is no official word from the federal court as to when the hearing will be scheduled to hear this filed motion. Methamphetamine was recently found inside the jail cell of a detainee at the Department of Corrections in Susupe. 25-year-old Abigail Renee Duenas is being charged with promoting major or minor contraband into a prison and illegal possession. That now goes on top of her theft charges, which she was originally serving time for. Court documents say a prison guard conducted a search in the female unit when she discovered a clear Ziploc baggie containing crystal-like substances. The guard says it was concealed with paper and hidden inside the detainee's bra strap. After testing the substance, which resulted presumptive positive for the presence of methamphetamine, the incident was logged as illegal possession, and Internal Affairs called police. This is a new process seen in DOC, which is a result of the passage of the contraband bill.
Gives us a lot more authority and power to enforce the smuggling of contraband that comes into the facility. And working with DPS ensures that. It helps that, right? So in this case, right, contraband was found, it came in. We call DPS right away. They come in. They fill out a report. We get the blue card case number. Then they go through the judicial process.
Torres told reporters this morning that Duenas is an intermittent sentence inmate, or better known as weekender, who serves time during the weekend so they may continue with employment.
People coming in, but they're going to go through the same procedures, right? When they can get booked so that they're housed here. And, the staff and inmates their security is my utmost importance. That's high priority, right? And ensuring that, I need to ensure that stuff is being kept from coming in.
Upon her arrival on February 29, Duenas stated she was asked by 2 other female inmates to smuggle in ice for them. Duenas stated she was afraid of the other inmates, so she agreed to do what they requested. Duenas says she was unable to hand over the baggie because they were in different sections, so she continued to hide it until the cell search.
When they come in and my staff finds it, and they hope it's all about accountability, right? And when they're doing that, then I know that they're doing their jobs. And I know that my staff and inmates are safe.
The Contraband Act has provided the Department of Corrections a more enforceable mandate that can deter inmates, detainees, correctional officers, contractors, volunteers, and the general public from possessing contraband in the facility.
I'm going to switch gears here, right? Like, if any of my staff members were to decide to make the wrong choice of bringing any of these items in, they too would be held accountable the same way. DPS would be called. We'd detain the officer or the staff member, and then they go through that same process as well. So it's all about accountability.
Torres says he continues to work with both local and federal enforcement agencies to ensure a strong collaboration in keeping the community safe. But there is still a lot of work to do.
I mean, we've come a long way. And people here, my staff members are rising up and they're doing everything they can to do the right thing. And I'm really gonna have to say I'm so proud. I'm proud to be. I'm proud to say that I'm the commissioner of the Department of Corrections here, and to see where we've gone as collectively to where we're at right now.
Duenas was remanded to DOC after her bail hearing a week ago. She was supposed to appear in court this morning for a preliminary hearing. Chief Prosecutor Chester Hines says she was able to waive that hearing and is scheduled to return to court on April 1. Pete A. Tenorio, who is one of the original framers of the covenant, says that the document provides a consultation process in which problems that arise in the CNMI can be formally addressed with officials from the White House. This is commonly known as the 902 talks here in the islands. Pete A. says there has been 902 talks done in the past, but it wasn't quite as effective as they thought it would be.
Most of the time, when the government of the Commonwealth called for consultation under 902 of the covenant, usually the problems that were identified are our problems alone. So, the U.S. looked at us and said, well, you're raising this issue like immigration and other type of things like infrastructure. These are your own problems. Why are we consulting? They want to be very picky about what issues that is mutually shared to be a problem.
The former LT has been involved in some of the past discussions.
So, the process is difficult. And I think that we need to look at the consultation a little bit more differently now.
According to Tenorio, a lot of the CNMI's issues can be brought to D.C. by the NMI's congressional delegate.
Our delegates' responsibility should be to be more active in convincing the Congress through its members in the committee, like the Resources Committee, because that's where the action is. You don't address your issue in the entire chamber of the U.S. representative, for example. You do it in the committee, and that's where people will listen to you. And either listen to you because they're sympathetic, they share the same problems, or just being good guys. They want, that's how politics in the Washington is conducted. You pat my back and I pat your back. But, and this can work too.
Governor Arnold Palacios is currently preparing for the 902 talks, which he agrees isn't an easy one.
This 902 talk is just, it's not just like you decide to have a 902 talk today and it's something that has to be very impactful. The issues have to be very important and impactful. Because he said, there were several 902 discussions that were practically useless because the U.S. came back and says, those are issues that you need to address.
Some of the issues Palacios plans to bring to D.C. are immigration, fundings outlined in Section 702 of the Covenant, and the integration of military policies into the Commonwealth.
But we don't want to have a whole, menu of things. We got to be very strategic about it and because some of these things needs to be brought up in Congress eventually.
The governor is expected to lead the talks with representatives from both the House and Senate.
I love Marianne's coffee. Come join me for a cup. I think you would be really happy.
Premium office space is available now at the Hermosa Vista Business Park on Capitol Hill. Features include dedicated parking, fast internet, backup power, good water, and natural light throughout to go along with the very best views on Saipan. So don't settle for space when you can get peace and peace of mind. Call Hermosa Vista today at 670-483-4750 or email hvsaipan@gmail.com.
Fast, fun, and easy. That's how your home Wi-Fi should be. So start with an internet plan that fits your budget. Introducing your home Wi-Fi starter pack, also known as WISP. Enjoy up to 25 megabits per second for as low as $35 a month. Plus, a free router with your wireless subscription. That's hours of movies, games, social media, and more endless fun. Get your Wi-Fi starter pack today only at Docomo Pacific. Better together. Additional conditions may apply.
The vast distances in the Pacific can make training, competing, and progressing difficult for aspiring athletes. Tahitian tennis player Jillian Osmont competed in the Mini Pacific Games in Saipan in the summer of 2022. He's currently a member of Team Oceania Pacific for Davis Cup competition. Jillian grew up here in Papeete, Tahiti, playing a variety of sports out of his childhood home in the hills above the city. And when in Tahiti, he trains here at this local tennis club.
I'm starting to go to the gym for an hour and a half, working on strength mainly for now, and getting some muscle. And after going specific on tennis and working on my games, especially skill set, but whatever, something specially on my games for like an hour and a half, 2 hours.
The 20-year-old will soon be back training in Australia. One of his training partners and friends is NMI gold medalist Colin Sinclair, who's currently in Brisbane recovering from a back injury. Sinclair, who grew up playing in Saipan, still competes under the NMI flag, but lives and trains primarily in Australia. This week, Jillian is enjoying some downtime with his parents at his childhood home while hitting balls each day at the club with some close friends.
I think the age of 20 is like mine. It's like make on learning a lot on not only tennis, but about life, everything. And like try to spend time with my parents. I don't see them oftenly, so yeah, like I said, vacation, but still training a lot for sure.
What's it like growing up in Tahiti and wanting to play professional sports or play sports for a career? What sort of choices did you have to make to get to higher level?
So tennis, you can play tennis in Tahiti when you're young, but once you start to really become professional tennis player, like I wanted, like at the age of already 8, 9, I know I already wanted to play professional. So I decided to leave Tahiti to go to France at the age of 11. I think that's a choice you have to do, because here you can't really, you don't have the infrastructure to perform at the level you want. You don't have the right coaches, you don't have the right physical coach, everything. You don't have a lot of players as well, so you gotta go like at the international to get better.
Jillian's dad grew up in the northern part of France and came to Tahiti to work. He fell in love with the water, the lifestyle, and Jillian's mom, and is now a permanent resident. Jillian's mom works for the local airline, and flight privileges help keep travel to tournaments more affordable. Jillian spent many of his formative years away from home in a quest to get better and better. What's it like being away from home at the age of 11? That's like 5th or 6th grade in America. That's like formative years. What was that like to be that far away?
At this age, really, I'm not saying mainly, but it didn't really matter to me because I was really into tennis, and like right now for sure. And like I was already used to live away from my family. I started traveling at 8, so the fact that I'm living for me was fine. But like for sure my parents struggle with that.
Jillian says now that he's a bit older, he relishes the time with family.
Now I'm 20s and I'm feeling the need to be with my family more oftenly. So that's why I try to come back like more and more when I can. I try to come back here, see my family, my mom, my dad, my brother. And yeah, seems more important now.
The Department of Public Safety made 14 arrests last week. Let's take a look at the number of calls police responded to between March 17 to 23. DPS received 2 calls for assault, 6 calls for assault and battery, which led to 1 arrest, 3 calls for assault with a dangerous weapon, which also led to 1 arrest. This week, there were 0 calls for aggravated assault and nuisance, 3 calls for domestic violence, 1 was arrested, 50 calls for disturbing the peace, 3 were arrested, 1 call for criminal mischief, 3 calls for criminal trespass, 1 was arrested, 5 calls for child abuse and neglect, 0 calls for illegal possession, 3 calls for burglary, 16 calls for theft, 2 were arrested, and 0 calls for sexual assault. And for the traffic incidents, Sinamay police responded to 10 car accidents last week. 3 auto parked vehicle, this is where someone has hit your parked car. 3 hit and runs, none for auto ran off roadway, 1 for reckless driving. 3 arrests were made for driving under the influence, 2 calls for auto fixed object, and 0 calls for vehicle theft. Police also responded to 1 distressed vessel. Residents can help keep the community safe by calling 911 if they are aware of any crime. Should you want to remain anonymous, you can call the Crime Stoppers hotline at 670-234-7272 or use their website at www.nmicrimestoppers.net. Crime Stoppers pays up to $1,000 for any information leading to an arrest.
Hey, golfers, come north and practice your game at the Marianas Driving Range. New Year's local specials. 10-piece coupon books available for just $60. That's a $10 savings. Want to get really good? Come work on your swing every day for just $99 per month. It's our practice pass and you're going to love it. Grab your passes and go straight to the range. You can social distance and chip all at the same time, and the views are free. Reserve now at marianastrekking.com. You can pay online, open 7 days a week. At one of Saipan's beaches, this mother lays about 100 eggs under the cover of darkness. She hides her nest as best she can and then slowly makes her way back to the ocean. The eggs hatch and the babies head for the sea, where they will face a daily dose of danger. Just 1 in 1,000 will make it to adulthood. Those that do will one day lay their own eggs. Sea turtles are protected under CNMI law. If you see one that is stranded or if you see illegal activity, call the hotline at 287-8537.
And for your KSPN weather report, tonight mostly cloudy with isolated showers. Northeast winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Low 76. Chance of showers is at 20%. For tomorrow, partly cloudy with isolated showers. East winds 15 to 20 miles per hour. Highs 86, low 76, and a chance of showers is at 20%. For your marine forecast, gentle to moderate winds and seas of 4 to 7 feet will persist through Thursday night before winds, seas, and surf increase towards the weekend. High tide will be at 8:37 a.m., low tide at 3:08 p.m. Sunrise will be at 6:15 a.m. and the sunset 6:29 p.m.